Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome to
Welcome.
Rolly's Retro Room. I'm actually in the retro room.
It looks spectacular, I must say. I
It's
am in
it's
awe every time I see it.
it's definitely glowing in here. Luckily, I can only show you I'm showing you the nice parts. You don't see the, the bad parts, everything
The-
around. I have like VHSs all over like my sofa and stuff like that. But
Speaking of VHSs, I hear you got quite a nice bundle recently.
I got from one lady her daughter's whole collection, and she was just like $30. Whoever wants
Nice.
it takes it. Facebook Marketplace, and I saw it. I was like, there were some bangers in there that I wanted, and for the business, so I was like, all right, cool. There's all the Disney, like all the Disney bangers were there.
Yeah.
They were super clean, but then like, do I have them here? Yeah, these three, my like I'm like, all right, these are for me. I didn't even think about getting this movie for the collection until I saw it. So she had The Mummy Returns, and this thing is like super clean.
Yeah, I see. It looked like it came straight from Blockbuster.
The original Mummy,
Wow.
and then like this
Yeah.
thing is like super. I'm like, yo, these things are
Seriously,
getting
that looked like you
these.
just opened it from the 90s.
Yeah. So,
Incredible. Incredible.
but yeah, man. It was a good find. Definitely a good find. 30 bucks, and I got a VCR. She gave me a VCR with the like the remote and everything. So,
Nice.
but today real quick, this is the first one we're doing. This is kind of gonna be the format going forward. You're down in Miami. I'm up here in
Yeah,
South Carolina. Doesn't stop us from talking
absolutely.
about the things
So,
from our past. So, for those who don't know, this podcast is basically to transport you back to your retro days. Now, here's a funny thing: everybody's nostalgic experience is different. My nostalgia is linked to my era. And the crazy thing is, like, I remember I was talking to my son, his like nostalgic, his like retro is like the Game Boy DS, the Nintendo DS, and like the Wii. He's like, yeah, those are my retro systems. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me?
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. We're gonna talk about 80s, 90s, early 2000s, movies, video games, uh, just about everything. Experiences. We were just talking
Yeah.
about
Childhood
the
experiences.
pencil sharpening thing.
Oh yeah,
I
that's right.
you have to go sharpen a pencil like in class, and like your buddy sees you like, oh crap, let me go up there and like sharpen my
Exactly.
pencil so I can
And it
talk to
was like the
people.
worst pencil sharpener
Oh
that you
yeah,
can imagine.
from
It
like the
would just make
50s.
this the worst. Yeah,
It was just bad.
it was
But
bad.
today we are
Yeah.
going to dive into, I want to say, the three eras of or the three like categories of Nickelodeon. Real
Yeah.
quick, this is gonna be a quick one because it is 2 o'clock in the morning, and we've been figuring
Yes.
out this thing for almost a whole day. But
But we're
so
here.
yeah, Nickelodeon was split up into about actually four categories, but we're talking about three. The four
Yeah.
categories were Nick Jr., then you got Teen Nick,
Yeah.
then you had Snick,
That's right.
and then after all that was said and done, when Nickelodeon would go off, it was Nick at Night. But we'll do Nick at Night another day because
Yeah.
Nick at Night was its own thing. Like I remember I got into a lot of shows that were way before my time because of Nick at Night, like Get
Right.
Smart
Absolutely.
and The Adams Family and stuff like that.
Yeah. All those '60s movies, and I think that's it. Took us back to our parents' nostalgia
Yeah,
watching Nick and
exactly.
Night.
Like my mom would be like, Why do you even know about Get Smart? Why do you know about the phone, the shoe thing? Like that was before your time." I'm like, it's on TV. Like
Yeah.
once my programming goes out, it's the stuff that I guess you watched.
Exactly. Andy
But
Griffith. I'm like in the '50s. I'm like, all right, that's what they're showing.
yeah.
I guess that. Yeah, that's it.
So to start, they would do. So we didn't have a channel for kids at all time
No.
in the
No.
early 90s.
Definitely not. No.
Nickelodeon was on up until, like we said, I believe from like 6 a.m. to about 8 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock it'll turn to Nick at Night.
Yeah.
And then on Saturdays we were given Nickelodeon till 10 o'clock with
Yeah.
the 2 hour block of Snick. And
Hmm.
Snick was great. I
It
loved
was.
Snick. Snick was just a great experience. They gave us new shows. It ran later, and then
Yeah.
they gave us the final closing of Snick with possibly one of their greatest shows. And we'll talk about that when we get to the end.
Yeah.
But basically, had what? Like during the day, you had Nick Jr. And
Yeah, at the days, especially during the weekdays, you had like you had Nick Jr. You had, you know, you had like you had. I think it was for preschools. Like growing up, I think I think 1992, we were like the babies growing up. You got the Muppet Babies. You got I think that's well. Actually, no. I stand corrected. You actually stand corrected. It wasn't
yeah,
Muppet Babies.
Muppet
Muppet
Babies
Babies
wasn't
was
on there.
not. It was for some reason. It's just ingrained in my head. I'm like, why is it that I thought it was on Nick Jr. It was on Nick Jr. It was like Gullah
No,
Gullah
so
Island.
yeah, Nick Jr. had a programming set up for kids who weren't in school. So whenever you faked sick or you actually were sick, you had Nick Jr. So yeah,
Yeah.
you had, like you said, you had Gullah Gullah Island, you had Eureka's Castle,
Hmm.
Allegra's Window, Blue's Clues. I believe David the Gnome, which I looked it up and it's not anywhere listed, but I know I saw David the Gnome on Nick Jr. What else was there on Nick Jr.?
I think those are the main ones that I
Yeah.
remember growing up because I think granted that's when you by the time Nick Jr. at least was coming around, we were already in school, and the only time we
Yeah.
watched it, it
Is
was
when is
we were
when we
sick.
there's either no school, you were sick or you fake sick. It's like, all right, cool. What can I watch? No Netflix, no on demand.
No,
It was either your VHSs or all right, throw on Nick Jr. and let it
Nickelodeon. Yeah,
ride. And
exactly.
for the most part, some of those shows, even though you're like in second, third grade, they were, I mean, it was still enjoyable. I thought Eureka's Castle was awesome. I enjoyed it. I remember
Yeah.
Eureka's Castle had this thing with Pizza Hut. Yeah, I believe it was Pizza Hut. So
Hmm.
Pizza Hut didn't do like Happy Meals, but they had like exclusive toys and they had these puppets. And if you bought your pizza, your personal pan or whatever for the kid, you could get like a puppet from the show. And I remember like the one I really wanted the Magellan, the dragon,
Right.
and I got it. And I was just like, this is crazy. Mind you, it was that it was like rubber. It was stank. Like if it got hot, this thing was stank.
Don't
And
leave
we
it in
were,
the
I
car.
mean, yeah, we were in Miami, so like it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what time of day it's hot and nothing got like it smelled just bad.
I'm sure.
But Eureka's Castle was dope. And I remember like a little bit later when Gullah Gullah Island came on, like that song was just like it was catchy. It was very
It's very catchy.
uplifting.
Very catchy.
The Big Frog, and dude, it was like it was kind of trippy if you think about it.
Yeah,
They had like, they had like these educational things like the kids went off to somewhere, they went somewhere with the kids and stuff like that, and it was like,
yeah,
oh, butterflies and insects and all the kind of insects, but then you had this big yellow toad just there
yeah.
with you, and he's just it's like, yo,
Hanging
this is
around,
not, yeah, and I'm here thinking, yo, is this like a fever dream? Did somebody lick this
or
frog?
or an acid trip. You're like just like what? Who came up with this? But
Yeah,
it somehow worked
still
for
great
me. I mean,
programming. And I think
yeah,
if I saw correctly on Netflix, not Netflix, on YouTube, like you know how everything they try to make like a dark version, or maybe it had like a dark meaning. I
of
think I
course,
saw
yeah.
like they're like, oh, they're gonna do like a reboot where the kid on the show was older. And he's like, oh, this is what really happened on Gullah Gullah Island. It's like, why, bro? Why is
Why?
it
Why are you
everything
gonna
hap-?
ruin that? Why? Everybody
No,
has to have
bro,
those
you
dark.
guys were just
They did that
happy on an island chilling with your
exactly. It was our
frog.
childhood. Just leave it in
Yeah,
our
you don't
childhood.
have
Leave it the way
to.
it is. You don't have to make it dark. It was a happy time.
Yeah.
Let's not everything needs to have a horror movie. Okay,
And
let's
then
just put that out there.
let's not forget the host of Nick Jr. Do you remember who the host of Nick Jr. was?
You're gonna have to refresh my mind, right? See, I didn't even know there was a host. That's crazy that you
So
remember that.
the person or the entity that hosted Nick Jr. was this super high pitched voiced I, AI, I guess, of called Face. Do you remember
Oh
Face?
yeah, I
He's like,
remember. Oh
"Welcome to
my
Nick Jr."
god. Yeah. It was just a face and that filled up the
It would
entire
just take
screen.
the whole screen. Yeah, and it'd be like different
I
colors and stuff
yes,
like that.
you have just unlocked a core memory. I couldn't believe that you just
Face would
unlocked
come
that.
on and he's like, and now next is Blue's Clues, brr, brr, brr," and that's it.
Yeah,
It'll be Blue's Clues on
and
there.
and he would like transfer over the next show. I remember face. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember face.
And then
Oh my
Blue's
god.
Clues was
Who could
again.
have
Remember
forgotten?
Blue's Clues came out. It did its thing. It was very popular, very successful. And then what happens? Everyone has to go dark and stuff like that. And there's all these rumors that Steve was like a crackhead or he killed himself. And it's just like,
We should go down the rumors of what Steve was, because obviously on the show he says I'm off to college.
yeah.
I'm like,
And
and
I think he
uh,
actually went to college.
he did, and but there was a rumor that he started like a heavy metal rock band. I think was
Which
one of the rumors.
I think he was in a rock band.
He was a rock
Um,
band. Okay.
Yeah, but just the dark stuff that the show was depressing him and he couldn't handle it anymore. And then I think there's parodies on YouTube where it's just like the dark side of Blue's Clues. Here we
Of
fucking
course
go
there is.
again. There has to
There
be a
we
fucking
go.
dark side.
There has to be a
Granted, I'm not gonna take away that it's possible because we have seen recently certain documentaries about
yeah,
Nickelodeon, like young child
especially
actors.
Nickelodeon. We can't talk about
Um,
especially, yeah,
Having some
especially,
dark stuff happen. But like these were obviously like things made that they were just like,
yeah.
what if Blue's Clues was a dark situation? But man, I'll tell you that Blue's Clues, that shit was catchy.
It
That shit
was.
had
It
me.
was.
I know all the fucking songs.
I think I could do. I don't know. I used to be able to do it. I could do Blue's voice pretty well. The I think that was
Uh,
about as
bro,
close as I
I
could.
don't. I think my cousins were of age for the show, and they had the notebook with the fucking
Oh,
pencil,
nice.
and I was just like, why do I want that? It's like I want it.
Everybody wanted. I think everybody wanted it because it like made you believe that you can draw these like pretty great pictures that
Yeah.
Steve did. I'm like, well, that was actually a
And
pretty good picture that he did.
and to this day, like I get a lot of packages now in the mail and in fucking from Amazon and stuff like that. Every day something's coming in. And I'll randomly fucking sing the Blues Clues song. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Meow.
Oh my god,
But
that's right. And they did a
but yeah,
little dance and stuff. So yeah,
yeah.
that
It's
was
just
some good times.
and then watching that stuff, I think Dora's show does that now where they talk to you, like they talk to
Yeah.
the viewer. But like I remember like I was a little bit older already, so I'm just like he's like, "Do you guys see Blue? Where where is she?" And you're just like they're like, "It's fucking right behind you, bro. Like how do you fucking not it's right there, dude. Like come on." And
Yeah.
it's like, "Did you hear that? I hear something weird." And it's like a fucking pipe dripping
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
"What is that? I don't know what it is." And then he gets like really close to the
Yeah.
do you see it? Can you hear that? And it's
It's like,
like, dude, like, are you tripping? Are you
yeah,
on something?
exactly. Are you
Did
on
you not
something?
hear it?
But then you think it's like, oh yeah, the kids have to get him. Okay, I see why
Right.
they're. I see. Oh,
And
I think we were in middle school by then. By the time I think because it was '96, I think
yeah,
Blue's Clues going to come out.
I was sixth grade.
Yeah,
1996, I was in
easily.
sixth grade.
But we're still watching it. That's the funny
Yeah,
part,
because again, there's nothing to watch while you're home. There's nothing for us to watch unless you had like some tapes or something like that.
for sure,
So, but it was, I mean, Nick Jr. was, I thought like it gave us something to watch. It was entertaining at the time. Again, we had no Netflix. If you didn't have a pile of awesome VHSs or stuff recorded, that's where you were
forget it.
watching. You were waiting for, I believe it was 2 o'clock is when the stuff that was like
That
catered
we
to
wanted to
us
watch. Yeah,
would
for
come on.
sure.
And I remember once 2 o'clock would roll around, I would switch over. Like whatever, I think Nickelodeon's lineup in the afternoon wasn't as strong as like to I think at the time it was 33 and 39, WB
Yeah,
and UPN.
yeah, we would switch over
And I would switch over and it was Mighty Max and Sailor Moon that would start like the afternoon off
for sure.
for at during those times.
Yeah,
And super into Sailor Moon and Mighty Max. I literally just started collecting the Mighty Max sets.
nice.
Like I showed you a picture, you're like, "Whoa, what is that?" I was
Yeah,
like, "Bro, it's Mighty Max," and you're like, "Oh yeah, I saw the cartoon." I'm like, "You never?" I did. To be honest, I never had them because
yeah.
when this stuff was coming out, and not for anything, I think our generation, like once you were past like 11, I think, or
Mhm.
12, like you couldn't be seen playing with little kid stuff.
No, no way, no way.
So
You better be
but
playing with sports or something like that.
yeah, it's just and like the stigma around like, oh, you're 12 and you're still playing with toys. What's wrong with
Yeah,
you? Like you
yeah.
shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, I digress. Then
Yes.
Now
Now
we
we
move
go
forward.
into
Nick Jr. goes to like the teen, like before, like right, the older kids and the teen Nick stuff,
yeah,
and that now there we had some premium
we had some
stuff going
bangers.
on. We
Yeah,
had
we
some
did. And
the
we figure out
Nicktoons.
we got the Nicktoons, and let me tell you, those Nicktoons are now a work of art because you look back on it, and those creators did something like I was like, wow, this is incredible. We never got it, especially like the Ren and Stimpy's and but
Ren
we
Stimpy. I I still to this day don't know how Ren Stimpy got on Nickelodeon and they put
I,
it for kids.
I think when we saw the documentary, it's just you see, and it's just like they don't even know how they got it on there.
Cause dude, like so Rugrats, I get. Rugrats completely
Makes sense.
understandable.
Yeah,
Doug, excellent.
excellent.
Love Doug.
The
Shout out to our boy
writing,
Camilo, who we
that's
call
right.
Doug. He looks like
Yeah,
Doug.
he looks like Doug. Yeah, but yeah, he definitely looked like Doug. Hey guys,
Um,
and Skeeter,
Rugrats, Doug, and then Ren
Rocco's Modern Life.
Stimpy. Well,
Rocco's
that
Modern
that
Life.
one came later.
That one came
Rocco
later
didn't come
along.
out with the initial release of the
No, it
Nicktoons.
didn't. No, it definitely didn't. It definitely
Then
didn't.
Ren Stimpy comes out, and I'm just like, it's a
What?
Chihuahua and a cat. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And I'm there watching it, and like I think one of the first few episodes was the Happy Happy Joy Joy
Yeah,
episode
yeah,
where
yeah,
they're playing the record, and he also has that thing that kind of like brainwashes him,
yeah. Exactly.
and I'm like, what are we? What's going on right now? Like, and I was in it. I was singing the song. I believe one of my friends got like the tape, the Ren Stimpy like soundtrack, and that was like track one.
Yeah.
And we're playing it, and there was another. Oh, Log. They had a song about
Log,
log. It's
log. Okay.
log,
And it goes,
log.
oh,
It's
okay.
big. It's better. It's wood.
E-
And I was just, yo, this show is an acid trip.
That show is an acid trip, and I'll never forget the powdered toast man
Powdered toastman that flies backwards,
that flies backwards
and you have to
and
get on his ass. You're
yes,
riding his
hang
ass.
on. You're riding and hanging on to his ass. I'll never
And do you
forget. I'm like,
remember the art on that show? It had like three levels of art. It was the regular animation, then
yeah,
you had like the still, which was like
yeah.
more in depth and more shadows, and then I gave you like then the third one was like an HD version of whatever you were looking at, and it was like the
The
grossest
grossest
image.
thing,
The
anything
like the
disgusting.
teeth were all bagged up.
Yeah,
There's like boogers coming out, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Like I remember there was like an old man, the Tooth Fairy. That's what it was.
yeah, yeah.
The
I remember
Tooth
that
Fairy
the Tooth
was an
Fairy episode.
old dude that reminds me of the dude from Family Guy. What was his name? Um anyways, the I remember seeing
The
the Tooth
old
Fairy
man.
thing. Yeah, the old man from remember
Yeah,
the old man from Family Guy?
Family Guy. Yeah, yeah. I remember him. Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
the
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 pedophile.
tooth the pet right. The
Yeah,
pet the Tooth Fairy in Ren Stimpy was kind of like that. He would like walk into
yeah.
your house, look like an old dude in a tutu. And I remember like he would like take the gums or like the nerve endings and put them
It
like on the
was
back of his neck.
it was
And then they gave a
bizarre,
close
bro.
up. It was just yeah,
It was
it was
so
just
bizarre.
weird, but we loved it.
We
Like
loved
it
it.
was like, oh, Red Stimpy's on. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah,
And I don't know how many times like Stimpy, you idiot.
yeah. Oh my
I
god.
was saying that to my friends. I was like, you idiot.
Yep.
But it's just that kind of cartoons, they were just like it was new because a lot of Nickelodeon's I think cartoons at the times were like just like reruns of other shows that had came out
Yeah.
earlier. But then this
Herbert.
was their
Herbert was the guy from
Herbert
Family
the
Guy.
pervert. Herbert the
Herbert the
pervert.
pervert. That's right. Herbert the pervert is the guy from Family Guy. Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely reminded me of the Tooth Fairy for sure. But I
yeah.
think if you look back on Family Guy, if you look back on South Park, if you look back, I think it has to give like credit to Ren and Stimpy. Like
Oh,
it,
yeah.
like I think Ren and Stimpy for me is like what started.
Directional wise, storytelling wise.
Yeah,
Even though if I remember correctly, Ren Stimpy was they did like two episodes, like two like stories per episode.
yeah,
So you get like a 12-minute first episode, and it's like you get your title screen, and it's like
yeah.
something crazy is happening in the episode,
And I
whatever.
think they all,
Most,
they all,
most of
they
them,
all,
yeah,
yeah,
most of
mostly
them
I
did,
think, but I think it was Ren and Stimpy that like did that first. You would get always a title card and then the
yeah,
episode, and then
yeah. Because I don't think Doug did. I think Doug was
a
straight up
whole
an
straight up
episode. Yeah,
exactly. And yeah, let's talk about Doug. Doug was, I mean, and I'm talking about the Nickelodeon version, not that,
yeah, not the ABC one.
not
Yeah,
the
we're talking
ABC
about
one.
Nickelodeon.
The
Yeah,
Nickelodeon
Doug.
version for me is the best version. It's the only version for me. It's, I mean,
Doug
it made me
was.
write a journal. Like I was like,
I
I want to write a
I
journal now.
I feel like all of us were watching it, and like Doug has nothing crazy going on in it. There's. I mean,
No,
Doug literally what like just was like, what's every boy going through right now?
yeah, pretty
You
much.
like a
Let's take it
girl.
at face value.
There's a girl who like you like, and you obviously think that you're like out of her league, and
Hmm.
you're never gonna get her. She's the most popular girl that everyone likes, Patty Mayonnaise. Your best friend is fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
That's just like all over the place, but he's your best friend. And I
yeah,
think we all had a best friend, or we were the best friend.
yeah, exactly.
Then you had the bully, Roger, which
Roger.
he was not rich in the one that we watched, right? Because I think I remember he won the lottery and was rich in the
In
newer
part,
ones.
yeah, he was considered. I guess we're trying to say that he was like trailer trash without saying that he was trailer trash, but he was definitely like the poorer side of the family, and he was like a misunderstood bully. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
he had his moments and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember there was times where like they gave him like a soft side, and like Doug was very understanding. Which I'm
Yeah,
sorry, bro. I mean, that was probably the least relatable part. And I know the lessons they were trying to convey, but it's
yeah,
like, no, bro. This guy who's been picking on me for the last like 2 years, yo, fuck this guy. No,
yeah.
get embarrassed, bitch.
Especially from Miami for sure.
Yeah,
So, but I remember there was some great episodes. I remember the first time he kissed Patty or held hands with Patty Mayonnaise and all that
and you're
stuff.
just like, yes, one of
It,
us won. One of us did it.
exactly, we did
You're like,
it.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for my moment when I can grab my Patty Mayonnaise's hand, which
Exactly.
it'll be another story, but I got
Yeah,
my Patty Mayonnaise when I was in high school. But moving
yeah.
on, and you can't talk Doug without talking about the music.
Oh no,
The
for sure.
music in Doug was fire.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was so fire. Banging on a street light,
Oh yeah.
Killer Tofu,
The beats, like they were the homage to the
dude.
Beatles. It was great, and of course, like I think when they started, remember the episode where they tried to start a band,
Yes,
and of course, like the rich girl, I forgot her name. What was it? What was her name? BB. I think her name
yeah.
was. Like
She was
they
so
like,
annoying.
you gotta make everything big, make it big. I'm like, I'll never forget. It was banging on a and they're like, you gotta make it
Banging on a
big,
street light,
like, yeah,
banging
exactly.
on a trash can.
Yep.
And then I to this day I'll be walking around the house. Oh we
Go.
oh killer tofu.
I mean, it's just so stupid. It was, oh my god, but it was so good. It really was.
Yeah.
Even the intro song was
Oh, to this
just
day,
fire.
a banger. I mean,
Yeah.
most of those were bangers. Fucking the Rugrats.
Oh
The
yeah.
Rugrats intro song. It's such a perfect like. How did you capture? I mean, granted, as a music composer, or whatever, I'm sure you know, but like it. That's if you could hear that song with your eyes closed, it sounds like babies.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that's what how babies like just that's those are baby like music tones.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that thing was so great, so great. But then the crazy thing, I feel as a kid you don't catch on to this. As a teenager, I was just like, yo, at the end of the intro song, while we get squirted with milk onto the screen to tell us the creators and the producers, that was a money shot.
Yeah.
The that milk squirt to the screen, that's a money shot, bro.
Yeah. I think that's one of the darker sides of Nickelodeon there. Oh,
But
buddy. Yeah, like it
dude,
was
that
definitely.
yeah, Rugrats was another one that you could kind of like relate to it. Like if you were like if you had like a bunch of cousins around or like if you grew up with like other kids around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember growing up and like I was the oldest in my family.
Right.
So like I would be like the ringleader of whatever we're doing. But on the flip side, I guess I was the Tommy Pickles, but then you had my cousin who she was the angel. She was legit the Angelica.
Oh, really?
She was the spoiled. She had my aunt and uncle get her everything, and she would literally try to make everyone take sides. It's either you're on my side or you're on Rolly's side. But if you want
Mm.
to be on my side, like I'll give you pizza. Like I'll have like my
Oh,
mom
she was
order
a
pizza.
briber. She was a briber.
100%. And the funny thing is, my cousins, I remember they would be at their house, and he was a kid. He called me. He's just like, yeah. So they ordered pizza. Our sister's babysitting us, and she ordered pizza. And in order for us to get our slice, we have to say we hate Rolly.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, I'm not even there, bro. Like, why is that a thing? Like, yo, but it's like a rivalry thing between kids and stuff like that. We're little kids. We're
Yeah,
fucking stupid kids.
for
But I
sure.
was just like, when he called me and told me that, I was like, what? But again, I was just like, bro, I hope the pizza was good. When you come over here, we're good. We're jumping on Smash, bro. I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
do what you gotta do
exactly.
to survive. That's stupid. I would never make
So
like
petty, so petty.
kids and girls, bro. That like little
Yeah,
girl crap. But anyways, back
yeah,
to Nickelodeon. But yeah, Rugrats was dope. Their movie was sick. I remember the
yeah.
soundtrack
I
for the movie
remember.
was dope. But
That's
then
right.
like you brought up Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's Modern Life was again. It was in the Ren and Stimpy era realm, and it
Yes.
came after, but it wasn't as disgusting. But it had like better for me. It
It
had better comedy.
better comedy and it definitely had adult tones.
It
It
for
for
sure had though.
sure. He worked at a sex line.
Yes, I
Oh
read. Yes,
baby, oh
baby.
baby,
Oh
oh
baby.
baby. Um
Like
his
it definitely.
neighbor, the big heads, like I think
Yeah.
the wife wanted to bang him.
Yeah,
Like
I think so.
she straight up wanted
Yeah,
to bang him.
for sure. She was like, "Oh, Rocco." Yeah, I'll
But
never forget.
then
I'm like,
I remember like she was like a tease. And if something did happen, it wasn't she the one like, "How dare you?" and like
"Oh
smack
yeah,
the crap out of him or something.
yes, yeah, yes, yes." I remember. I'll never
And
forget that.
then his do you remember what his dog's name was?
Oh, Spunky,
Spunky.
Spunky,
Yep.
Spunky. Yep, Spunky. Yeah, and there was some crazy, crazy
And
episodes.
his best friend was
Heffa,
Heifer.
heifer, heifer.
And
And I
then
found out as a kid, you don't know what heifer is, but actually, that's what you
he's a
call
cow.
a cow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
he's
that. I thought, and
oh
he's
no
a
no
cow. So,
no. I mean,
and
yeah, no, they say it in the
I didn't
show
know.
like he has a family of cows.
Yeah, it's family of cows. Um, and then of course the turtle. Who could forget? What was the turtle's name? I forgot his name.
Filbert
Filbert. Yes, and
and
they were like comic book shop.
elfish
Fish
sticks,
stick.
elfish sticks.
Yes, and he became like I think he was like he was like a one off, and then I think he was everybody loved him. He wanted to becoming an occurring character.
Yeah.
Like I remember I always felt like he was like a one off. He worked at the comic book store. He always landed on his back and he couldn't get up.
Yep.
He would just get stuck. We're like, oh, fish sticks.
Yeah.
So I mean, but
So,
yeah, that
but
was that.
Rock was Modern Life, and then I always found it weird. I don't know if you picked up on this. It has two theme songs. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, what do you mean?
So it has one that's very Australian, and it goes Rocco's Modern Life, and then it has a good beat to it.
Yeah,
And then there's another one that just has like a slower down beat. And it was after I think after one season they changed it, and it stayed that second one. I was like, why did they change it? Like the tone was like a happier like fast paced beat on the
yeah.
first intro, and then went to this like slow down. I even want to say like off pace song, but
I guess I never noticed. I guess it was the same theme. I just never noticed that it was, you know.
when Rocco's Modern Life came out, I really liked it. I like the art. I like the art of
Yeah,
Rocco. Like I used to
yeah,
try to draw him all the time. I was like, man, this is like he's a cool looking cartoon. And then
yeah,
I just got obsessed with it. And that's what and the intro was so dope. And literally when it changed, I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
yeah,
Or maybe I know sometimes they do that where like they'll try something. I was like, but no, never came back. But if you stream it anywhere or if you see it somewhere, like if it's part of the first season, you have the original intro and then
for sure.
anything after that. But I know go after Rocco, there were more like there was Cat Dog.
Yeah, there was a lot
You
of.
have
I think.
Hey
Yeah,
Arnold.
Hey Arnold right there, and that's one of.
Yeah.
Look, you see that? That's one of my favorite soundtracks. Like I think that's. It was because of Hey Arnold that I think I love jazz because he liked jazz and he always had that like killer room that I think
Oh
all of us
man,
90s.
that's bro.
That
Yeah, I
room,
mean, don't get me
tell me about
wrong.
that room.
I love the retro room, but
Yes.
having that skylight, that
In the
setup that he had,
city,
that open floor setup that he had, bro. The way that
it
we
was
all wanted that room.
bro, he was the coolest kid I knew growing up because and he had that couch that just went and
That
like came
folded
out of the
in.
wall. Oh my god, yo.
So
And then you
funny
go on the roof. You could like climb out and
Yeah.
you can chill in the room. I'm like, yo,
So
that
funny takeaway I got from Rocco's Modern Life, and I didn't apply it till I was older. Was so Helga, right? That was the girl that I was
Helga,
obsessed with.
yeah,
Helga wasn't like in love with him,
in love with
like
him, but she
in
was
love
bullied
with
him.
him,
But she bullied him too, and that was
bullied
around that
him,
time. That was around the time. So,
bro.
well, if they bullied you, it's probably because she likes you.
Right. And as a kid, as a boy, or especially where we grew up, we don't understand that logic. So
No,
when
definitely not.
I tell you in elementary school, there was this girl that made me feel lower than dirt. I'm talking about like she told me I was ugly, I would never get a girlfriend, I smell, and I'm just like, bro, like yo, leave me, like just don't talk to me, leave me alone.
Right.
And I hated this girl. I was like, bro, I never did anything to her. I don't know why the fuck she like hates me so much. We get to middle school, she just avoids me. She doesn't talk to me, but she just avoids me. Doesn't tell me those things anymore, which is cool. I'm good. As an adult, I guess on Instagram, I want to say a year into having Instagram,
Yeah.
this girl requests to follow me, and I'm just
Good.
like, it's the craziest thing. I'm in my 30s at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s, and seeing that request, clicking on the profile and seeing who it was, I was sent right back. Like I was just like, I got like scared. Like I was like
A little
all
bit
those feelings that
PTSD.
you had. Yeah, I was like, oh man, what the hell? Why is this person like? Why was it? So then I go and I was like, all right, we're grown adults. Accept.
Yeah.
I accepted the follow. I started following her, and I see, she's married, she has kids, beautiful kids and stuff like that. She likes all my stuff, and she like replies, she responds to all my stories. And I was like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna like tell this girl because like, just to get out there. I sent
Yeah.
her like a long ass DM. Hey, like I'm glad that you're following me. I see your family is beautiful and stuff like that. I just want you to know that like when we were growing up, you destroyed my confidence as a kid. Like I thought I was the ugliest kid in the world, that no girl would ever go out with me, and like I was terrified of you. Like I just didn't want to be in a room with you because I didn't want you to draw any attention and tell people, like you would tell all the girls and stuff about me. And bro, she responded and was just like, I am so sorry. Like I was stupid. You know how girls are. She goes, the thing is, I liked you so much that I didn't know how to tell you, and the only thing that came to mind was to say those things to you because I didn't want you to go like another girl, go out with another girl. And I'm just like,
Wow.
are you fucking kidding me? All that trauma, yo, like I'm telling you, like I didn't have a high esteem. My esteem was like at mid level, and I
Yeah.
was best friends with like the good looking kid, like the Jonathan Taylor Thomas of my school was my best friend. He had the parted hair, the light eyes. Like
Yeah.
I was the ugly friend to the Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Right. Right.
in my eyes because of how this girl told, like she basically told me that. But anyways, literally I watch Hey Arnold and I think about the whole situation. I go, I had a fucking Hey Arnold moment.
Yeah.
Helga was this girl. She liked me, but she was literally like she wouldn't beat my ass or punch me or anything like that. But she literally like made me feel like dirt and tell me all these things just because I guess she didn't know how to fucking work her feelings or tell me anything.
It's amazing
That's
how relatable that is to us. Because I mean, that's what happens. How if it happens now, I don't know, but I know back then that's what happened. That's what if a girl picked on you or called you names, it's probably because she liked you.
yeah.
And whether you're gonna find that out now or like you did when you were
When you're
30s,
in your 30s, it's
like
like, yo, like, and you completely locked those memories away. And like, I was a
absolutely,
confident 20 something year old, and I was, and then just being put back into that fucking 8-year-old shell of mine. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Why is, and then like you get like this little like not panic, but it's like this whatever you felt whenever you would see them, like, oh, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me, please don't talk.
yeah.
Like that emotion came in. Anyways, enough of my childhood trauma and Nickelodeon relations,
But
but
but it's good that you confronted her, and I think even if it's a girl bully that liked you and still a bully, you confronted it and you closed that chapter in your life. So that was
yeah.
good. So
But Nicktoons wise, I think after Hey Arnold and Cat Dog, I was out already because I was already like I just got to high school and I started
yeah,
playing football, playing sports after school,
yeah,
had a girlfriends, and like
yeah,
I didn't have time to watch TV to like way late after high school. I didn't watch a lot of TV while I was in high school,
I don't
which
think.
is
Yeah, like,
crazy.
I think you look back on it because I was still playing with my friends outside, like
Yeah,
in our neighborhood, and it was more okay. Now we're getting older. Some of the girls in our neighborhood are getting a little,
growing.
growing, and we just weren't interested in those things anymore. And I think towards the later years it was like Real Monsters. Remember that one? I think that was another.
Our Real Monsters came out with Rocco. I can't believe I forgot that one because I
Yeah,
used to think that Ickis was super dope. Like I would
yeah.
draw him on stuff all the time.
I remember.
Ickis,
Yeah. So Our Real
Crumb was the
Monsters.
most disgusting fucking
It
thing I
was
ever saw. He
yeah,
was so
exactly.
gross.
Yeah, Our Real Monsters was another like again great Nicktoons show.
What was it? I know? I think Cat Dog was the last one. I think I saw a few
That's what I
episodes before I
remember.
stopped.
I think Cat
And then
Dog was the
after
last one.
that was the Angry Beavers.
Yeah, Angry Beavers.
I think
Yeah, I
Angry
think
Beavers. Right when Angry Beavers came out, I was already like chopped out.
yeah,
But
yeah. I think that's
that
that's
was it for me and the Nicktoons.
yeah,
And again, there are other shows that we'll talk about because we can't talk about Nickelodeon without talking about like Hey Dude, Clarissa Explains It All,
exactly.
Welcome Freshman. So we
Yeah,
will touch up on those,
for
but
sure.
for right now, we're hitting up the Nicktoons.
Yeah,
And to end this to the last segment, we're gonna talk about their big boy. I
yeah.
think is where they kept their premium lineup, which is Snick.
Snick,
Saturday
Saturday
night
Night Nick.
Nickelodeon. Like it was like they were just like, all right, we're gonna come up with shows, and these shows are going to be our like before HBO had their like Sunday night lineup,
Yeah,
Snick was the thing. Like that was it.
that was it. That was it.
And man, I remember when they announced it, I was just like, okay, what are they gonna do? And I have a pretty good memory. I remember when it was like prime Snick, it was Alex Mack, the secret
Yeah,
world of Alex Mack. Then it was
all that.
all that,
Yeah.
which was our SNL.
Yes. I think that's how we got introduced to sketch comedy as kids.
Right. Oh, I was watching SNL since I was a kid. Like
See, I
I was
wasn't. I saw all that, and then later in life, I saw
I was watching
SNL.
SNL since I was like 8 years old because Saturday nights I didn't have a curfew. Like my mom was like, just go
Stay
make
up.
sure you go to sleep at some time.
Yeah, yeah,
But I would watch SNL all the time. But when I saw all that, I'm like, okay, this is literally a kid's like SNL.
yeah, for sure.
So after all that, if I'm not mistaken, it was Space Cases.
That's right.
And Space Cases drew a lot of attention because Walter Jones, Zach the Black Ranger, left
Yes.
Power Rangers. And then I saw a trailer for Space Cases for Snick. I'm just like, yo, the Black Ranger, Zach, it's gonna be on it. And then again, I made my own expectations because he was on it. I'm like, okay, he's gonna be kicking ass. He's gonna be in spaces, this and that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. Nick was a little more friendly and stuff like that. And it wasn't a bad show. But we had Space Cases, and then the the creme de la creme,
The
the
creme,
last show,
the cherry on top.
man, was it a banger?
It was a bang. And every single episode, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are you afraid of the fucking dark, dude? Like, are you kidding me? How do you like? I remember watching this at night, and when this thing would start, it would. So on Saturday nights, I'll paint the picture for you. Saturday night in Miami, at my grandma's house, my grandma would have friends over
Same
every
with me and my
Saturday,
grandma's house because my
and they
grandma
would
only had
watch.
cable.
Right. And my like I think all the parents of like my family would like they would go do stuff and we'd
Right.
stay at our grandma's house. So all the cousins were there. My grandma was doing her own thing. All, her friends were coming over watching Salo Gigante, which is a
Hmm.
big
Univision in
show
near Miami.
that
Yeah.
people would watch and stuff like
Yeah.
that with Salo Gigante and Don Francisco and stuff like that. But all the kids would be in the we had a room in the back. The second Are You Afraid of Dark starts, we turn off the lights.
That's it.
Turn
That's how
off the
you paint the
lights.
pictures. And
We
we
get
are
our
in this.
blanket. We had a bunk bed in there in that room. So two of us would be on the top, the like three of us would be on the bottom, and we're just watching this show.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, we like make sure it's super dark, and we're just like, it was crazy. It was just like, yo, this is our horror show. Like it was so great. And then like the setup, a bunch of kids, a campfire,
Yeah.
submitted for the approval, the Midnight Society. You throw
Yeah.
the fucking sand, and then boom, there's the
Title.
title. And I'm just
I,
like,
I
Yo,
I always want to know what the hell was in that sand. I wonder, Mike, if you could look that up. I would like to know what the hell was in that sand that made it go.
but I'm just like, yo, this is great. Fucking, the first night I saw that lineup, I was like, this is awesome. The Secret World of Alex Mack was just so like different, because it was a girl who got. Well, I mean, the story could have been pulled from several things. Waste got thrown onto her. She got
Yeah.
mutant abilities,
Yep.
and only like her best friend, I think her sister, knew about it. And she could like morph into water, move around. She could move things with her mind. And I
She could
think she like
levitate
shot.
things.
Yeah, she could like shoot like laser out of her finger. And then the government was looking for her, or I think it was her dad's company. Her dad's
Yeah.
company is the one that made the stuff that made her superpowered or whatever.
It reminds
So
me of a lot like Daredevil.
I was
For
about to say it's very Daredevil-esque, or like, okay, let's go ahead and take that from here. Let's
yeah.
get this from here. So,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
yeah, no, Alex Mack was good. The space cases, it was Star Trek for kids. Like I
Yeah.
said, all that was 90s kids SNL.
All
And
right.
then Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. And Are You Afraid of the Dark? So he said, what was it that pull that up again? Mike, he said that the magic sand was made of, I couldn't believe what it was. I missed it. It wasn't
Wait,
up long enough. Here we go.
gets thrown into a fire, dark powder, non-dairy creamer.
Who would have thought? Who would
Non-dairy
have?
creamer.
I would like to put that to a test, just like non-dairy creamer, and I go and just like have a.
Well,
Are
you
you
are
afraid
having
of
a
dark?
barbecue tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I should like just toss it in there.
Just guys, we ran out of little lighter fluid. We have non-dairy creamer. All right, just
Yeah,
throw it
we
in
go,
there.
and I just start like telling a, scary story.
Yeah. And
Just
man, I remember like after Are You Afraid of the Dark was done, like we wanted to tell, like we wanted that vibe to keep going. So we would either like try to tell our own scary stories, or like we would
and then
like, oh, let's find out what.
it transitioned to those books. Let's not forget those books.
Well, I was gonna ask, 'cause we still got about like 4 minutes left.
Yeah,
Now I could get killed in the comments. I could get killed on social media for this, or whatever the case may be. Is um I'm a huge fan of art Goosebumps. I have several of the books
yeah,
there. I had several of them growing up. Now, when they came out with the show, I was very excited because I'm like,
we
okay,
all were.
this is literally gonna be Are You Afraid of the Darks, but through Goosebumps. It did not have the same effect to me.
I agree
But
with you.
here's two things. Here's two reasons why I think it didn't have the same effect. One, it was for primetime TV. It
Right.
was on in the afternoon. So I believe the element of having the show on at from 9:30 to 10 gave Are You Afraid of the Dark a cinema, like a scenery kind of setting. So
It
it
sets
kind of
you up.
puts you in the like the mood to watch a scary situation, a scary show. Whereas to Goosebumps came on at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like right before Power Rangers or something like that. I was like, yo,
Right. Yeah.
and then you're getting these popular stories, like Night of the Living Dead and Welcome to Dead House and stuff like that.
Right.
And they're good. They're not bad, like page to screen adaptations, but it didn't have the same effect. I feel like it was better. They were better as books than as a show. And granted, there were some shows here and there that were a little bit more scary. But I guess also, since if like for most of us, if you read the story already, you know what's coming, like
Exactly.
the anticipation isn't the same. Versus Are You Afraid of the Dark? We'd have no idea. I till this day remember there was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where they go into the fun house and the
The
clown is
clown. The
haunting
clown.
them outside of the scary house, and they had to take back his nose so he would stop. Was I think it was his nose.
It
They had
was
to
his
take
nose. It was,
Yeah, they
and he
had
had
to
a
take
cigar.
back his right. They had to take back his nose and leave it there so he could stop haunting, because they would smell like cigars and stuff like that. Like if he was actually around
And
them.
let me tell you something. That clown, it's up there with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, dude,
That clown.
I remember that clown so vivid. Like I right now I have the perfect image of it.
If we could
It's
see that
white
picture
face,
of the
red
clown, Mike,
hair.
like
It's that clown. I'm telling you, I'm just like, yo, this clown is like, hell no, bro. I'm not messing with that clown.
it is.
It
Yo, it
was
is insane. Like it's crazy that how that clown was. Um, and there was a bunch of other ones. Like there was, I remember one where a guy couldn't fall asleep. where or otherwise people from the where I think he stole a bunch of treasure from these like pirates from the lake in his backyard. Was
Yeah. Oh,
and
you're
if you
afraid of the
all
dark. Look at
yeah,
that.
look at that thing. I mean, come and that intro alone, just right
Oh,
there.
bro, the intro
The
was so
intro,
creepy.
it was so yo. I'm like, yo, where
He had
you
like a
transporting me right
dummy
now?
side. There's like a dummy in like an attic sideways,
Yes,
just swings in a park, just swinging by itself with the wind and like leaves. Like I'm like, yo, they set you up, man. Like you're just
they,
like I'm gonna shit my pants tonight.
yeah, like for sure. And they wanted to, and it was like, no, we're gonna make this, scary for kids, and we're gonna make this, and we're gonna make you think. So I mean, like there was one like I think it was one where it was like a dead girl in a room, and they had to figure out why she was dead, and it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
remember that one.
yo, oh my god! And I remember they always had a magician one. I'll never forget. And it was always the guy with the glasses who told the story about because he was a magician and who
Mhm.
told the story about a magician. I think a couple of episodes, or I think Tim Curry did a couple episodes uh, as guest appearances and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean,
Nice.
not to mention, I think Pete and Pete was on Snick. They put it a little bit on there, but that's like a whole other episode when we talk about those. Like Pete and Pete is
Yeah,
another show where we're just like,
P&P, Clarissa Explains It All. Like I said,
yeah,
those were like the other side of the teen shows where they were like scripted, well done shows, and then you have like the sports shows,
that's right,
Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare, Wild and Crazy Kids. I think that's one we didn't talk about. Like
that's
before, when
right,
we're talking off screen, Wild and Crazy Kids, another one. And crazy enough, from that show, Omar Gooding spawned, and
that's
he's had
right,
a crazy career, and
that's
he's
right,
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother.
that's right. I'll never forget. That's right, Omar Gooding. I think he was in what's that movie? Baby Boy. Was it Baby Boy? Omar Gooding with Tyrese.
I believe so.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was Baby.
I
That
look that up.
gangster movie. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Omar Gooding. So
But
yeah, but he
but yeah,
started
no,
off as that.
Nickelodeon has so much like so much nostalgia. Like I have the clock. It's you can barely see it, but it's up there. That boom clock up there,
Nice.
and like the fact that like we had it for X amount of time throughout the day. Like, all right, it's 2 o'clock. This is your prime time to watch it, and then that Saturday lineup. Boy, when it
Yep.
was Saturday, man, you were locked in. You made sure you ran inside, and you had a TV locked down so you could watch those shows because that
Yeah.
was our prime. Omar Gooding is the actor known for playing Sweet Pea. Yep, that was
Yep.
him.
That was him for sure. And yeah, it was just since you watched, I'm sure you saw the documentary, and that's why they called it the Orange Years. I mean,
Yep,
this was these years were Nickelodeon,
and the
and this is before Cartoon Network even like Cartoon Network was there, but
yeah.
Nickelodeon was top tier for us.
Well,
Like it was it.
for us, we lived in Miami, and they
Yep.
had their base studio in Orlando.
Oh yeah, and who didn't want to get slimed?
Yeah, I went there twice as a kid. I believe once was with both my parents, and then one time my dad. I told you earlier, my dad took me and my stepbrothers on a weekend that I was up there by myself, and then I had that whole story that I told you, which we'll leave for another day.
Yeah.
But that place was just awesome, and just the it's crazy that like you could walk there, see the studio, and you could see all the shows. And I could tell you exactly how it was. Like they had Guts on like one of the stages. Double Dare was like right over here. And when I went to go see it, they were just building Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like they had just
So it
built
hadn't just come
Omni.
out yet. It hadn't just come out. I mean, Legend of the Temple was. I saw this thing. I'm like, this thing is incredibly hard. Except for me, I'm like, how could they not put that 3 piece monkey together?
Yeah,
Like, I never the big
yeah.
bass in the bottom, and I just see them struggling. I'm like, what is going on with you guys? Like, I never got it, but yeah, again, these were shows that you just wanted to be on, and I think that's what they made it for. I think
Yeah.
that's why they had their base in Orlando because every kids went to Orlando. It was like, I want to go to Nickelodeon Studio to see if I can
Well,
get on
yeah,
there.
Universal Studios, and it was I guess, an easy way to get like participants in like those shows and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you're here for a vacation. Does your kid want to be on TV and
Yeah,
test its physical attributes?
there you
So,
go. Yeah, I mean,
but yeah,
and who could forget that orange couch on Snick? Huh?
yeah, that
I
orange
think,
couch. Like, I
I think
remember
if you could afford it, it'd probably be in your room.
that I was there. It is
There's Nickelodeon Studios.
that's
That's it right there.
exactly the spot
And
Man, that thing is crazy.
and
And
let me tell
if
have you seen it now? It
yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
like
I've seen the
dead.
images
It's
now.
dead.
It's like
That's
a an
what
office building.
it's an office building for the Universal Studio people. I'm like, that's just dead.
They did a time capsule with a bunch of like 90s like relics
I
with some
remember that.
90s people there, and they put a bunch of stuff in it. And then when they moved studios from Orlando to California, they took it out the ground and took it over there. I believe it's supposed to be open in 2042, if I'm not mistaken, or
All right.
2045, something
No,
like that.
we're closer to
So
that than we are to the 90s. So
the crazy thing is, I'm almost certain most of the things that are in there I probably have in this retro room,
I'm sure.
like
I'm sure.
gaming stuff, Walkmans, tapes, and stuff like that. Like it's funny, like most of us are building our own time capsules now.
Yeah, and that's another episode I think when we talk about our millennial man caves.
Yeah,
Like that'll be another episode. I think
yeah,
you just have to tune in for that one.
yeah.
But yeah, I think if you can get that orange Snick couch for your retro room, that would
So
be
I've dabbled in looking at stuff like that, and there are people who actually have similar couches, and basically, the official ones, like people have those things like in their houses, and they paid upwards of like 5 grand for these things. So when I
so
was looking for the couch,
there's multiple couches, multiple Snick
I believe
couches.
they said it's like 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
But when I was looking for the retro room for a couch, I wasn't looking for an orange. All right, so yes, I was looking for an orange one, but I to find an orange one of that like that orangeness,
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't gonna find it. So
No,
I was just looking for one that kind of resembled it, had like the outline of it, and then maybe I could like dye it or something like that. Like I remember when I was doing the sketchings for my friend to do like my logo for like the Rollies retro room stuff.
mhm.
I told her, I go, look, I want like the background to be like my cabinets with like toys on it, on Nintendo, all this stuff like that. And I go in the middle, I wanted to have the orange couch from Snick. And I literally copied, pasted, put it on there, gave her a very rough draft. And I was just like, the Snick couch has to be part of my logo. But we ended up having some issues and we couldn't make the logo or whatever. And I ended up making the logo through another means. But yeah, that Snick couch is embedded in my brain as to like my nostalgia.
For sure. For
But
sure. Like we'll never forget the Snick couch.
yeah.
So
But yeah, man, that was a little dive into the Nickelodeon. We
the
had
orange years.
yeah, the three eras. We had the Nick Jr. Then you got basically the midday, which is for like the outside of preschool, and then some of the teenage stuff, and then you got Nicktoons, and then Snick. To this
Yeah.
day, I don't. I mean, again, we kids these days have everything whenever they want. So there's nothing to look forward to unless like a show that you're watching is gonna have like new episodes or they're
Yeah. I
dropping a
mean,
season or something like that. But even then, there's no way anyone of any generation after ours would know. Look at that couch.
look at that
Look at that
couch.
thing. There's no way anyone could tell you like, oh man, like what it was like. The closest thing we have that we could say is like an HBO lineup on Sundays. I remember
Yeah.
as an adult, like I would have friends over when I worked at Best Buy, and like, yo, we're watching the Sunday lineup, and it was like True Blood, Entourage, a
The
show called
Sopranos when I was
Hung,
off.
and
Yeah.
Sopranos, bro. Like, and that was an adult Snick. That was
Yeah.
literally the adult Snick.
For sure. I think it prepared us for like, okay, this is like our next Snick and
Premium,
it would
premium content.
yeah.
Like a channel could have shows, but they're like, okay, we're gonna have a lineup of premium content at this time. Who knows? Maybe I was just so out of it because I was a kid. Maybe HBO or like these other channels did have a Saturday night lineup that I just wasn't paying attention because my focus was Snick.
Yeah, same. For sure. I mean, I think that was everybody focused. And not to mention, we didn't have TiVo. We didn't have, and if you missed it, you missed it. That was
Yeah,
it. That was it.
yeah.
And
If
you
you
had
didn't
to make
record
sure,
it,
and you had to make sure you had cable. My parents didn't have cable. I was like, please, I need to sleep over grandma's house. I need to watch Nick. Just send me over there. And they're like, oh, okay. And they're like, free night, no problem. And I
yeah,
go,
exactly.
I go, please just send me over. I need to watch. And she had cable, and that's how I watched it. And that's how I got
Yeah,
into it. So it was crazy. It really was. It was a crazy time. And it's like, now kids are watching YouTube. which is
YouTube,
what this is
Netflix,
going to be on. That's it.
everything.
Shorts, they're
But
like their attention span is like it's like
yeah,
short. I'm like, yeah, so that's how it is nowadays. So
but yeah, again, I wouldn't trade our
I don't think
childhood
so,
for anybody else's. We were in the sweet spot of possibly the greatest childhood, content wise, toy wise, technology
for
wise.
sure,
Everything was just like probably peak during that time.
for
But
sure, for sure.
with that being said, my friend, it has been an
Yes,
absolute pleasure
yes,
talking
sir.
Nickelodeon with you. And
Absolutely.
again, for everybody out there, if you are a 90s, 80s baby, you are into retro, this is the spot for you. This is where you come to hit back and relax and just remember the good times. Remember there was nothing recorded, things were live. You went on,
They're happening in the
maybe
moment.
maybe you had a VCR and you were recording these things. Like I would record a bunch of stuff back in the day. My grandma showed me how to record stuff because she would want to watch her soap operas. But thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. This is Rolly's Retro Room. I am Rolly. That is
I,
Tony. We are the host here, and we are down to have these conversations with you guys every week. So, with
yeah.
that being said, deuces.
Later.